a little bit different than what we normally do. So another great ball game between two great universities. Love the atmosphere here at PNC Park, and we're so very thankful for what the Pirates allow us to do. We always talk about creating memories for our student athletes, and whether you win or lose a ball game like this, the opportunity, and I think it speaks firsthand for the gentleman standing to my right, or sitting to my right here, growing up a Pittsburgh native, hitting a triple. Was it a triple today? Long game. But in PNC Park, I think your brother hit a home run here a couple years ago? Yeah. So he's going to let you know that, right? Yeah. Okay. But that's what we talk about. We talk about creating memories. And it was a great ball game. I mean, 3-2 baseball game. We just happened to come up a little bit short. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Coach, Devereaux, I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Let's see, 3 consecutive jams
Yeah.
got out of in a row in the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and then of course you started the 11th too. So how key was he for you guys and extending that game to give you guys a chance to win?
He did a phenomenal job for us. And as you follow college baseball and this time of the season, you have conference series going on. So the importance of the conference weekend series is one thing. No doubt competing against West Virginia is always important as well. But when you looked at who we had available, he was kind of our high leverage go-to guy on the back end of our game, knowing that Barron threw 2 out of 3 games this past weekend. Ideally, you're hoping to use him in the 8th and the 9th. We kind of self-inflicted a couple of those jams, but his poise, his confidence, and his pitchability allowed him to pitch out of a couple of those jams. Even attacking the safety squeeze, holding the runner at third, still getting the out at first. So Brady did a phenomenal job giving his team the opportunity, and that's all we were looking for there, and gave us a chance. I believe it maybe was in the 10th where we had bases loaded, to walk them off there before we struck out. So hats off to Brady Devereaux, phenomenal job today.
Mike, in terms of who's available in the field for you, obviously a few injuries right now. I mean, how are you guys dealing with that? Kind of difficult when you're sitting there trying to line up.
It's been unlike something I've ever had to do before. The one thing that I've come to know in my short time as a head coach, the one thing I hate are injuries. You never think about it as a player because you're just preparing yourself to play and compete. And that's all these guys want to do. They just want to get after it and compete. And as coaches, you feel for them, whether it's a hamstring, whether it's a knee, a shoulder, whatever. And yeah, we've got a lot of guys out right now. What does that mean? It provides opportunity for a Tommy Tavares to get opportunity to find out what this speed of this game at this level is all about. And he's filled in admirably. We've had a lot more guys fill in than what I had ever seen before. But for us to dwell on it and say, woe's us, nobody's going to give us a hall pass. We've got games on the schedule. We've got to compete, and we've got to compete at a high level, and it's opportunity for these guys to step up.
What was the moment like for the triple, and as a Pittsburgher, what's it mean to play West Virginia, the opportunity to play West Virginia here or anywhere?
It was definitely awesome to play West Virginia here at PNC, and the moment was just trying to be aggressive early and put a good swing on the ball. So.
Is that a rivalry that really rings to you?
Yeah, I went to Pitt football games growing up, and I remember going to games against WVU in the hostile environment that it was. So, yeah.
Coach, obviously there are 3 runs for all scored on errors and miscues.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you speak to your team after a game like that, going into the conference series to make sure something like that doesn't carry over?
The beautiful thing about baseball, unlike football where you have to wait a week to play, we get the pleasure of hopping on an airplane and preparing for Miami tomorrow night with a good practice and get after it this weekend. We preach to be not too high, not too low. Those are things that we can correct. Those are things that we can, shore up a little bit. And you're right, there was a lot of self-inflicted things. We had a cross up at the plate, a step off on an early break where we threw the ball away, and a couple just miscues late in the game there. And when you play good teams and close ball games, those are the little things that show up. When things are rolling and you got a big lead, you kind of, those things don't really hurt you. And we knew this today was going to be a close ball game. And their style is unlike any other. They try to apply pressure in many ways. and it was a good learning experience for some of our guys along the way there.
And they've also been, very successful this season, especially as of late, as you guys as well. So, making 4 errors though, but still keeping the game close going into the 11th inning. Is that something positive that you maybe can focus on the team?
I think it's a tribute to our guys. Our guys never feel like they're out of it. And that's, whether it's a backup lineup in there, or whether it's a starting 9, whether it's a midweek pitcher or a weekend starter, our guys are fighting for each other. And that's been the most joyful thing. And I've told these guys, I couldn't be more proud of this team, the way that they've pulled together and they fight for each other. Jordan Anderson hasn't played in a week and a half, but he roots for Gia Marusi in center field. That's neat to see, and that's the neat thing about college baseball.
Mike, Randy said he would like to play 3 a year.
Randy would play 12 a year if you let him,
But
Yes.
what's the importance for you?
The importance for us, it's you got 2 Power 5 conferences. Historical, there is rivalry, whether it's Pitt, West Virginia, whether it's Pitt, Penn State. That's why since, year 4 now, through COVID and everything, that we've strived to play these games. Whether we play 2 times, 3 times, whatever that may be, a lot of that has to be how the schedule works itself out, first and foremost. Nobody likes to give up home games. But we definitely don't want to miss out on the opportunities to create these memories for these young men by playing here in PNC Park.
I know you have a lot of injuries, but is that a typical midweek lineup for you? I think so. It might have been.
I tell you what, you need to come over to a practice one day. I'll write you a lineup. No, that was atypical. We got 6 guys out right now. Six offensive guys. Typically, yeah, 6 position players. Yeah.
So they would have played today if they weren't hurt.
5 of the 6, yeah. Yeah. The 6th one being the backup center fielder. That's the 3rd center fielder out there.
Is there hope to get 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, there is. And they're all different things, and some of it's a day-by-day type situation. Some of it's getting news from doctors. Some of it's how we feel. And, I've said this time and time again about college baseball. We don't get the pleasure of pulling somebody up from AA, AAA. We are who we are. And our roster limits are what they are, and, we've got to have versatility. I mean, Josh Overbeek has filled in phenomenally in left field, made a nice catch over there, I think, in the 1st inning. He's been working out at third base all year. But he played left field growing up in some travel ball stuff. But over the last week and a half, he's had to move out there with the rest of the guys that we've had banged up. And, being able to do different things at the college level, just like their guy Abernathy that closed it out there at the end. He's a 2-way guy. That's what college baseball is about.
Injuries aside, Coach, I saw a projection. I did step away toward the projection, had you guys in the field.
Yeah.
Is this team pointed in that direction despite the injuries?
This time of year, I honestly think for those that followed college baseball, there's probably 7 to 8 elite teams in the country right now. I think you could take teams 9 through 50 in a 2 out of 3 series, and anybody can beat anybody. It's the beautiful thing about baseball. But I think when you're looking at projections, that's just the body of work that's done so far. All that's meaning is you put yourself in position. What you do over the next 5 weeks, how you finish, who can you get healthy, what's your competition, strength of schedule, those are the things that come into play over the next 5 weeks. So it's nice for our guys to be noticed, but it doesn't mean anything.
But any of those 6 guys playing against Miami this weekend?
There could be, yeah. It depends on how they're progressing and how we're able to get to that moment.
You've been a part of a team that's won 6 series against ranked teams. What's been the key? What's allowed you guys to do that?
I think we really believe in each other, and like he said, we never think we're out of the game. Like, no matter what the score is, we're gonna go out there, give it our best, and we always think we're in the game. I think that's important.
Does that come from team camaraderie, team confidence? Like, how do you build something like that?
Yeah, I would say we are very close as a team, and that definitely helps.
One thing I noticed is that the dugout really gets into the game and the action on the field. Does that help you as a player, and when you're up with that, or when you're in the field? Does having that energy from the team and the fans help you perform out there?
Yeah, it definitely helps knowing that all the guys around us are supporting us and, you know, there for us. So, yeah.
Any questions?
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys coming today. Great seeing some familiar faces.